Hello, it's the Bad Mini Painter, and we're still trying to figure out what Space Marine chapter I should paint my Space Marines in. Today I'm going to try to do it in Dark Angel as the title and probably thumbnail already disclosed, so I don't know why I tried to make that into a mystery. Anywho, speed paints from the Army Painter. Absolution Green. I was very skeptical when I put this one on. I was like, oh shite! I picked the wrong color. It didn't look really like any good, and it looked definitely not like a Dark Angel. But this color, when it dries, it actually becomes quite a bit darker, and yeah, it ended up kind of looking like what I wanted to go for. I guess using the Dark Angels from Citadel would have been better, but honestly I feel like the end result was pretty good. Ushabti Bone for the decoration and for the shoulder armor thingy, my bob. And it needed a couple of layers, but I think the contrast with the green was yeah, it worked out pretty well. And again, trying to be super careful not to hit any of the contrast, because it is such a pain to correct mistakes in contrast paints. And also I forgot to thin down the Ushabti Bone enough, so yeah, not the best paint job, but it's okay. Next, glossy black from Vallejo. Sorry about that. For all the joints. And Morfang brown for the gun holster and his satchels and purses and all that manly stuff that you have to carry around as a Space Marine. And then we do the lead belcher, and we do that for the jetpack and for the metal, the visible metal parts of his gun, and also the hand grenade. He's holding a little hand grenade. Now Dark Angels often have some red on them, and I couldn't really figure out where to put it, so I decided to kind of just put it on the gun. So what I would normally have painted black, I decided to do red. And it ends up looking fairly nicely. Not to toot my own horn more than necessarily, but I felt like that was a pretty good decision. And it's a demon red from Two Thin Coats. Something that's slowly turning into be my favorite paint range. So yeah, I need to buy more of Duncan's colors. They are really good, like highly pigmented. It's fairly awesome. Next up is mummy ropes from the Army Painter, and I use that on the sigil and well, not the sigil, but the little pieces of paper below the sigil. some blood red for the sigil. Just a quick dab. And Agrax Earthshade for the parchment and for the pouches and gun holster and whatnot. And then to try something a little new for me, I decided to take a sponge with a Screaming Skull and just dab the shoulder plates with that. And I kind of like the effect that I achieved. It's quite subtle, but it did do it, like, make a difference. It's kind of like not dry brushing, but yeah, it gives a nice effect. And I put it on the most protruding area, of course. Then Stormhost Silver for the buttons and also for the metal on the helmet. And a little bit of highlighting on the gun as well, and dropping the mini. Ah, you didn't see that, no problem. And Scrag Brown, just for highlighting the pouches and the gun holster. Next up is some shading with Nolan oil, and that's for all the metal parts. And it's hard not to also hit the red on the gun, but I try to just letting it flow into the recesses between the metal and the gun, kind of adding a border. And a little bit on the grenade as well. Then it's back to Demon Red for the eyes. I'm trying to be super careful. I have a brush with very long, thin bristles on it. It's pretty good for highlighting and stuff like this. And I decided to go in and highlight the gun a little bit, where the non-oil had darkened it. Not just cleaning up my own mess, which is fair. And finally, some red tone from Army Painter, just to add some definition to the gun. It is looking kind of flat, so a little bit of shading fixes exactly that. And with that, I'm done. Looking at it now, that's the joy of editing. Like, you see what you fucked up. I should have done something with the belt, like something like added a bit of lead belcher or whatever, because it is just a lot of green. But the end result is, well, what you're looking at right now. And despite my abysmal transfer abilities, I'm actually pretty satisfied with the end result. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you found something in it that was helpful, please leave a like. If you just think that I deserve a like, please leave a like. And yeah, I will hopefully see you for another upload. Bye.